Oh, hello, dears. Hello, hello, hello. Gosh, I just think it's so strange on this planet. We go, hello, hello. It's like, what kind of weird place is this? You gotta love it. Hello, hello. Someone says, oh, go to hell. I think, is that left or right? Is it up or down? Oh, God, it's hard the way you know your way around town. Oh my, oh my, my, oh my, oh my. And laughing for no reason. Oh, I know, it's the absence of suffering. Why am I so happy? The absence of suffering. And I love understanding that should that shift, it's just more good news. It just tells me, back to Earth school again. You've had a vacation, back to Earth school again. Notice the cause of the suffering, the opposite of just there's the absence of suffering, and then notice the suffering. The suffering, the cause of suffering is what I'm thinking and believing about you, about me, about the world. So I can move that. I can identify the cause of my suffering, the thing that cost me my birthright, which is joy, another name for love, another word for sanity. I can identify those thoughts, and I don't get to choose when I'm in Earth school. It chooses me. It's like next lesson, misery. Yay! So I identify the cause of that misery. That's what I'm thinking and believing. I move it from my head to paper. What do I do without my hands? I think I'll find out. Oh, and that was fun. I did. I'm good without them. Okay, so the cause of something from head to paper, and then I question it. I question the thoughts that I move from here to paper. Now, my ego would say, oh, I don't believe that. No reason to do the work on that. There's every reason. There's every reason. It was the cause of my suffering. And maybe still is if I've got a little hangover. This misery does leave a hangover. And and that kind of misery is like a call to action. If we don't know what to do with it, it takes us to like compulsive overeating, and we feel very guilty about that. And then, or alcohol, we feel very guilty. Dun, 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 dun. People, they have to entertain us and they have to love us. This busy, 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 I want, I need, you should. So I move it from mind to paper, and whether my ego believes that I believe what's on the paper or not is not the thing. It moved me from joy. So I'm going to question it. I'm not going to let my ego talk me out of not taking my medicine, not spoon feeding me an occasional, is it true? My medicine. And then sitting in that medicine and letting it heal me, let it wake, meaning wake me up to reality. That thing in the past that's so depressing, I'm awake to it. That thing in the future I'm so terrified of, I'm awake to it. And all I did was call on the power of an is it true question. Is it true? The power of what meets that question wakes me up. That is healing. That is the ultimate healing, and it's in you already. What meets your questions is in you already. In other words, you're already awake. But what you're thinking and believing is between you and that awakeness. The ego. Past, future, past, future, past, future, past, future, past, future, past, future, past, future. That was very quickly past future. Past, future, past, future, past, future. So gotta slow it down, gotta slow it down. Ego doesn't like that. Gotta slow it down from here to paper, from here to paper. You know, when this work found me and I was noticing people talking about the brain, and I didn't know if they were talking, you know, like where thoughts come from. And I thought, well, it could just as easily come from our toe. What makes them think that thoughts come from the brain? They could come from my little finger. You know, they're nowhere, in other words. You can't, but we point to the brain because there's a kind of don't know, don't care. I know the cause of suffering and how to end it. And the don't know, don't care is you know, I don't know and I do care. I find science fascinating. But that kind of fascination can be in any realm here, any area here, like sports and putting together dinner and all kinds of wonderful things. But am I free in that? Basically, am I happy? And happiness is our birthright. The way that I know that's so is it feels right. Well, I think that's all I have to say about that, but I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah. Do we think out of our feet? Our belly buttons? Where do thoughts come from? You can't catch them. You can't see them. But we imagine. Really, we're being imagined. I see me at breakfast with Stephen this morning. I'm being imagined. I see me at the table this morning with Stephen eating breakfast. Imagination. Well, it brings me happiness, so it's good with me, but when there's a problem, I know what to do with that. And eventually, it's all just a state of joy until it's not. a state of joy. You know, joy for me doesn't look joy for me doesn't look like laughter and all of that. It can, but it's just the absence of suffering. For some of us, that can look very mundane. You know, they're just walking through life, but we can't know what's going on in that human being. What I do know is this: I'm the only unenlightened human being on this planet. You are all my enlightened teachers. Understand? You're in me. In other words, you are who I imagine you to be. My teachers. If I don't love you, I've got work to do. And I love you equally. It's like love, looking at love as a state of gratitude, which is a sameness, an experience that I feel for the walls and the ceilings and the sky and the floor that holds me as I walk.